Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of describing the volume of a cylinder. This is standard 8.6a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 29 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a cylinder, very short and broad cylinder here. We have the dimensions labeled for us, and we have the equation for the volume of cylinder, V equals BH, which is on our mathematics chart. So them giving it to us here in the problem isn't that unusual because it is available on our mathematics chart. So they give us that, and they're even telling us what B represents. So B represents the area of the base. So I'm just going to kind of shade in what we're looking at here. So here's the area of our base right up there. And then obviously we're going to have a corresponding one down here below. And it's kind of hidden by that front wall. All right, so we've got those two. Those two are going to be our base. And what we're looking for is we need to find the value of that base in square centimeters for the cylinder. We don't necessarily need to calculate it. They're just looking for which expression can be used. So if we're looking at volume, it's pretty simple, right? V equals BH. Because the H is, look at that right there. It's always going to be given to you. You're not going to have to calculate it because it's just a single measurement, right? So now it's B and then you're 3.8. But the B, that's the problem, because this is the same equation that for volume of a cylinder, volume of a prism is the exact same thing. So if you get a volume of either a rectangular prism, volume of a cube, volume of a triangular prism, hexagonal prism, all of those are going to be the exact same V equals BH. The H is always the height. This is the big question mark, and that's why we have this problem. What is the base? Because it depends on what you're trying to measure. So what do we have here? Well, this is a circle. It seems pretty obvious, but it is a circle. And so what we need to do is the base is always the area of the base. So what we're looking for is the area of the base. And so what they do is they just shorten that to just the base, but it's assumed that we know that we're looking for the area of a base, because the area is going to be two dimensions, right? If we're doing squares, rectangles would be length times height. If we're doing triangles, it's 1/2 base times height. Then we multiply those two dimensions by our height, and that gets us our three-dimensional volume. So how do we find the area of a circle? Well, we can memorize it, but it's also on the mathematics chart. So if we do get stuck, so the area of a circle is going to be pi r squared. And that's what we need to put in here. So really, if we wanted to take this volume equals base times height, which works for a whole bunch of three-dimensional shapes that we've looked at before, cylinders and prisms, we can actually rewrite this as volume equals pi r squared, and then just multiply that by the height, because that's really what that base is. So pi is just that ratio, right? And so it's going to be 3.14. But we're not actually calculating here, so we can just leave it as pi. So let's get back to our base, because that's what we're looking for. So base equals pi, and then what's the radius? Well, they give it to us right here, 12.1. Sometimes they'll give us the diameter. We have to cut it in half. But in this case, they give it to us, and then we square it. So that's how we would calculate the base. We multiply that by the height to find the volume. So our answer is A.